record on this computer. Hello and welcome to Enterprise Week with Down Business Centre. My name is Janice MacDonald and I manage the centre. We help people start up new businesses and support existing businesses do better. And we hope to build up relationships with those clients so that we can become a listening ear when things go wrong. Today we're focusing on self-employment as an option. And my colleague Joan O'Hara is going to give you an overview to the programme and introduce two entrepreneurs that we've worked with in the past so they can share their stories. So at this stage, I'll hand over to Joan.
Thanks, Janice. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Exploring Enterprise programme before I introduce you to two previous participants. So firstly, the Exploring Enterprise programme is a free programme that is for people who are unemployed or working less than 16 hours per week. It consists of training plus one-to-one mentoring. On the training, which we usually do over 1 week long, we cover areas such as how to become self-employed, what records you need to keep, how to advertise your business, and also the things around legalities, around insurances and tax. We also bring in guest speakers, often other local business owners, the Consumer Council, and often a recruitment consultant comes in to discuss CV writing and job search and interview tips, because often people who do Exploring Enterprise want to become self-employed, but perhaps need to find a part-time job while they do that, while they get their business up and running. As part of the programme as well, successful participants are able to get a level 1 in Understanding Business Enterprise from CCEA. So today, thankfully, we have two previous participants from the programme here to chat about their business journeys. But before I get to them, I want to just tell you about the eligibility for Exploring Enterprise. So if you're watching this today, this is the criteria that you need to fit before you can go on to the programme. So firstly, you must be aged 16 or over, legally able to reside and work in the UK, unemployed or working or studying less than 16 hours per week, and you must not be participating in any other government-funded programme. So if after what you hear today, you feel that you might benefit from the programme, please do not hesitate to get in touch with ourselves here at Down Business Centre or Muiread Mourne Enterprise Agency, and we'll be sharing the contact details for both of those later. So firstly, I'd like to introduce you to Muiread Kelly from Muiread Kelly Photography. She's a wedding and portrait photographer and offers her services throughout Northern Ireland. Muiread completed the Exploring Enterprise a number of years ago and is here to discuss her business journey. So I'd like to pass you over to Muiread. Thanks, Muiread.
Hi, Joan. Thanks very much. And Janice, nice to see you again. I want to have a chat about my business. As Joan said, it is a wedding and portrait photography business. I started it around 8 years ago now. And when I done the enterprise, I had already just sort of established the business, but hadn't got the key features of running a business. I knew the photography and I was qualified in it and had been out and done work experience around others, knew I wanted to start my own business, but was very lost within the business sector. And when I done the enterprise week, I learned quite a few stuff that were key that I needed. Some of them included the accounting, which was a big thing for my business because I wanted to do my own books, but also wasn't even sure where to begin. Hadn't done maths since GCSE and knew nothing about it. So these ladies pointed me in the right direction for that. The other big thing for me was my industry is very much soul. And when they say sole trader, you are sole, you feel quite alone. So with the enterprise, it really gave me aspects in touch of communicating. I was able to get connections with other people who were starting business. So we're asking the same sort of questions I was asking within it, as well as when they brought in people to mentor, asking questions to them, be it people that were already starting a business or had a business, as well as getting support for things like legal papers, paperwork, marketing, everything, I was able to gather it. So it really helped me out in that sense. I'm going to show a bit of my website and explain a wee bit of the business, and then be able to go through a wee bit more of what I had picked up and learnt. So this is my homepage and my website. What I do is weddings and portraits. I don't know, can you see that, ladies?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. So the type of photography I do is documentary. I have shot weddings myself and photographed weddings mostly by myself. Doing the Enterprise Week has helped me to basically understand that I can bring in another employee. I can bring in a second shooter and be able to make sure I have the right paperwork for keeping them correct as well. It also helped me chat, and I got in contact with other women in business and was able to do programs with them. And so this is a few of my wedding shots from the last 2 years. Unfortunately, I have a lot less this year with COVID, but I have got the support there that I can keep going with when it comes to studio. I have a studio here at my property, and that was another thing that I needed advice about, because I have, my studio is not connected to the house, but it is on my property. So I wasn't looking things in regards to rates and stuff, but I wanted to know how to work that out and what I needed to do to make sure that I was covered, as I said before, with insurance, with public liability, with clients coming into my own property and knew how to manage them. And so this is some of the photographs within the studio that I have taken over the last few years as well. And back to the homepage. Social media was another big thing for my business, which I wanted to ask about, because most of my clients come from social media, Facebook and Instagram. And so I needed to know how to communicate with them and what would the best wordings be, and learned a bit more about SEO, which was something I didn't even understand what it was. So the Enterprise Week really did help bring them out. But that's everything that I can say really about it, and how much it was great and benefited my business, and how much actually I still communicate with these ladies, and with all the help that I get still from them, which is brilliant. So thank you very much, and I'll pass you back to Jo.
Thanks, Muiread. I'm not wanting to put you on the spot here, but if someone was to come in to see us and wanting to start a business, is there any sort of advice that you would give anyone that's thinking about starting something but just not sure about how to go about that?
Yes, I would actually, it's good to have the bones framework of knowing just what your idea, but you don't actually need to have everything. I found I was a step ahead because I had already basically started my business, but I was losing out on the aspects I needed. As when I communicated with everyone that was on the course with me, there was a lot that only came in with an idea and hadn't even got any stage yet, hadn't started the business, were still employed with someone else, but was ready. And it was nice to chat to them and give them some tips on how I started, and also to hear what they were looking to get. If you were going to go out and start a business, I think 100% get backing that you can from the likes of yourselves. Use our local one, and I got endless amount of information from you. I also was able to get business plans set up with yourselves. I was also able to start marketing. So it really gave my business a foundation to start going with everything else. And it gave me, the biggest thing was the confidence, being able to go, no, I can start this now. I feel like I'm not going into a zone of questions and unsurety. It very much gave me the point to move on and keep going.
That's great, Muiread. Thank you so much for taking the time out. So that's Muiread Kelly from Muiread Kelly Photography, and you'll find her website and on the social media platforms as well. I also now want to introduce you to our second participant, ex-participant, Jacqueline Hamilton from Seaforde Interiors, which is a bespoke interior design service. Jacqueline also completed the Explore and Enterprise programme a number of years ago and is here to discuss how she started her business. Thanks, Jacqueline.
Thank you, guys, and thanks very much for these last few years as well. These have been amazing. My degree is in actual fine art, and I did that about 20 odd years ago. And we were living in England, and we moved back home. We built our own house, and I always wanted to be an interior designer. So I decided to go back after being at home with the children for 7 years. I'd lost all my confidence. I'd actually had hurt my foot, and that I wasn't able to work. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to go back and actually retrain and do an interior design course, because I wasn't able to do anything at the time. So I went back and did my course, and it was another creative course. I mean, my degree's in fine art and of course the interior design, but there was no business course. I had never done anything like that. And obviously being at home with the kids for 7 years, I had been out of touch for so long with, you know, office work and working in that sort of environment. So I'd heard about the enterprise scheme shortly after I'd actually finished my course. And it was brilliant, and we just made it feel so welcome from the start, from the receptionist going in. You guys, you're so approachable, because it's quite intimidating sometimes whenever you've come up with an idea and you know that you want to pursue this, but you're thinking, goodness, what do they maybe want to speak to me? You know, how do I go about this? And from the start, it was very, very easy, very all lovely, very friendly. And I did the course and I loved it. And not only that, the course opened up so many other opportunities, because you guys just don't realize how much of a wealth of information that you are as well, with your business experience, your background knowledge, and also the courses that you run from the Enterprise Centre as well. So whenever I finish my enterprise course with you, I'm still in touch with you. I'm still going on and finding out on your Facebook feeds what you're actually doing there as well. I mean, you do a lot of social media training too. So it's been invaluable to me and to my business. So thanks so much for it.
Thank you, Jacqueline. That was very useful. And I'm going to ask you the same question as I asked Muiread, if you don't mind. Is there any sort of advice you would give someone that's sitting at home right now and that's thinking, I've got an idea, but I don't know if it'll work. I'm scared that if I start, it won't work. And how do I take it forward? What would you say to a person that was in that situation?
You have to be obviously very serious about it as well. You also have to have some sort of background with having, like, I had some savings as well, so it meant too that I was able to do it as well, you know, and having that, because I just wouldn't encourage anybody just to leave their job and to set it up, because it is quite uncertain times. So just dip your toe in it first, just to see, because it is long hours. I mean, everyone thinks that, you know, I'm going to work for myself. I'm going to be able to work around my hours. I'm going to work, you know, be able to see my kids and things like that. You end up working longer hours. Your days are longer. You end up working weekends. You're working nights. So it has to be something that you're very, very serious about and something you're very passionate about, because you don't go into it for money either. Because you go into it because it's what you love to do, and you don't see it as work, and you gain so many great friendships and meet so many great people as well. And Muiread touched on this point as well, that she works on her own. I work on my own as well, so we're kind of solopreneurs, or whatever you call them, and it's great to have people like yourself as sort of mentors and background, you know, to sort of run an idea past you, or what do you think of this. So it's been invaluable. But also social media has played a big part recently as well. I was actually doing, I was working away obviously in February, and I was working on a distillery up in Dungannon area, and I was also working in a hotel in Downpatrick. And obviously with COVID, that just all stopped, you know. And so for a week, I wasn't doing anything. I was kind of like a bottom lip out, what I'm going to do. And what ended up happening was a guy that I'd actually worked for before, done his office work and some work for him at home. And he had got in touch with me and said to me, Jack, he said, would you be interested in doing some sort of over the phone work? Because obviously it was lockdown and I couldn't visit people at their houses. And so I said, yeah, that sounds okay. You know, I've never really done that before, but I'll give it a go. And so I was actually spoke to his sister-in-law, and I was able to do it on sort of my little iPhone, and it was great. And it was quite sort of strange at the start, but you got used to it. And what ended up happening was my daughter Daisy had taken a photograph of me here in the studio talking to this lady on the phone, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to put that up on my social media just to show people that I can still actually work. And I ended up getting so many clients in lockdown. It was incredible. It was because I was able to help them. I was able to see what room they wanted done up. I was able to advise them. I was able to source furniture for them. So social media for me this last 7 or 8 months has been invaluable, and I've got an awful lot more work out of it. I'll just show you my Instagram feed here if I can maybe share the screen. So let me see. I actually, can you see that?
Yes.
I actually post every day, and I find that it's been so beneficial to me. I post the same image on Facebook and the same image on Instagram, and I'll do like sort of about 70-30, whatever. I'll do sort of a lot of it. Today's actually our anniversary. That's why I've got these lovely flowers in the back. The local lady, Janet from Seaforde, and that's what she does. She's a florist, so she delivered them. My husband had arranged that. And just different things. So each day I'll sort of, I noticed as well in lockdown that people were wanting to get on with projects. They were sort of sitting at home, they were bored, they were wanting to make new home offices as well. So, excuse me, I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to give tips. I'm going to let people know how to kind of, start, how to do a room, how to sort of source furniture, how to actually just do tips, sort of how to group things as well, and group things together. And rather than me being frightened of it and sort of thinking, you know, that's me giving away all my ideas and things, it's not. It's actually making people realize that you know what you're talking about, and you know where you're coming from. So it's kind of like showing people that sort of side to you, and I've loved it. And again, because I work on my own, I don't have any staff. I miss the crack sometimes in office, you know, talking to other people. What did you get up to the weekend? But with my social media, I'm able to converse with people. I'm able to get that crack with them. I'm able to get that feedback from them every day on my posts. So people will, and I'm getting quite, there on Saturday, got 222, different, 183, I'm getting good engagement from people, and I love that, it's great. So I just put different ideas up, and, little, just keep going, because last week I just felt we all need a hug. Do you know what I mean? And so I was talking about, I'm going to give everybody a virtual hug, because I think we've all been through so much. It has been rotten this last few months for so many people, and it's affected everybody. Nobody has become unscathed from it, So what I'll do is I'll post every day, and I'll show my fabrics as well as show things that we've been working on. I'll share tips from home as well, what I've done with my own fireplace for Halloween and things like that. And I really have found social media has worked so well for me, and has given me the confidence to voice who I am, what I'm about. And I just had to get over myself. And through that as well, also our home cinema room there, I got into the local newspapers through that. I was in the Belfast Telegraph, I was in the Morning Observer and the Down Recorder, and that was again just through social media, getting in touch with me. RTE got in touch with me in August, saying did I have any clients that would want to show their homes that I work with, or would I like to show my own home on the Love Your Home show? But I couldn't, because I was too busy, but I maybe might do it next year. And U105 have got in touch with me as well. There's a photograph of me there the other week. Different things. So it's really opened a lot of doors for me. And I think you have to just not be self-conscious with your social media. You don't have to share everything. I don't share my kids on it. I talk about them sometimes, but they're 13 and 15, and they would absolutely die if I put a photograph of them up. And I wouldn't do that either, because they're young adults and it's not fair. And also through my social media, this is a photograph of me with a lovely lady called Kira, and she owns Margaret's B&B over in Ardglass. So we had, since February, we've been going on each other's posts every day, commenting. And then she invited me over because we were able to meet up, and I went over and had a lovely afternoon tea with her. So it's unbelievable how much community, local women and business people that I've met through my social media, and it's been incredible. And we've met up. I'm meeting a lady from Dundrum. She's Mrs. C's Home Kitchen. I'm meeting her this week. We're going to go for a walk in Murlock. It's just been fabulous. So I really would just don't just go for it. Just go for your social media. You don't have to show every part of your life, but it definitely gives a nice glimpse of what you do and what you're about. And I've really found that that's really helped my business this last few months.
Well, that's great. Thanks, Jacqueline, for that there insight. So that's Jacqueline Hamilton from Seaforde Interiors, and you can obviously look Seaforde Interiors on Instagram and Facebook to see what Jacqueline does and to follow her. It's great to see how both Muiread and Jacqueline's business has grown over the last couple of years. So thank you so much for taking the time out to come in to talk to us. It's much appreciated. So now what we're going to do, I think Janice is going to share some screens of previous participants that decided they wanted to give their feedback on their business and on the Explore and Enterprise programme. So what we're going to do is share a few businesses that have come through. We've had such a wide range. We've taken a selection, and thanks to everyone who
see that
has,
okay?
Yes, we can see that.
Okay.
Thanks to everyone who's allowed us to share their business. So if Janice, if you want to share the first screen, this is a little peckish fast food business that has started in Ballynahinch just this year. And it's an unfortunate time to start a business, but Natasha was all ready, and then just lockdown happened, but she was able to survive that there with changing her business slightly. Natasha completed the Explore and Enterprise programme just last year. She's had 17 years experience in working in a local fast food shop and completed the programme with the view to starting up a franchise. After submitting the application for the franchise, she was turned down, but Natasha didn't let that stop her. She put in many hours of research and hard work and decided to start up her own fast food business in Ballynahinch. This has gone from strength to strength despite opening right at the start of COVID. Natasha says she was confident at the cooking part of the business, but had absolutely no idea of how to run a business. She says the programme taught her how to market her business effectively, how to keep financial records, and also about business planning. So that's a little peckish in Ballynahinch. Blueberry Becks, a lovely photograph here. Maeve, one of our youngest participants, she has just turned 17, but started her small business in April this year at the age of 16. Maeve left school at Christmas as she was suffering with her mental health and felt that school was not just for her. Baking was something that she'd never done or been interested in before until she says she started it as a hobby to cope with her anxiety. And over lockdown, she developed her skills and developed a real passion for baking. Her mum encouraged her to start a small business, especially as Maeve says she had nothing else to do since it was all in the middle of COVID and lockdown. Maeve hasn't looked back, and her business is thriving and constantly growing with the introduction of new products, which she shows often on her Facebook and Instagram. Maeve says that she went to Exploring Enterprise as it seemed perfect for her to learn more about the business world. She learned so much about business and finance, taxes, and all the things that she was uncomfortable with. Maeve says that she is so glad that she did it, and the trainer was so amazing at providing her with a comfortable learning environment and so much knowledge, as she was very nervous about coming back into a classroom environment. Maeve has a very strong social media presence, and if you search for Blueberry Becks on both Instagram and Facebook, you'll be able to follow all her amazing creations, just like what you see there. So this is a business. John from just outside Downpatrick was a quarry manager and unfortunately was made redundant just in August due to COVID-19. John had used drones as a hobby and came up with the idea that he could try and set up a business using drones, or UAV, which means unmanned aerial vehicles, to inspect areas and places that are hard to access, providing a photogrammetry view of the required area being inspected. The use of drones, UAVs, can dramatically reduce the risk or exposure in a working at height situation. John says he attended the Level 1 Award in Exploring Enterprise at Down Business Centre to help him identify what was involved in setting up a company. After completing the programme, he was able to develop his learning by attending digital marketing Zoom classes that we had. He was able to get further information from ourselves at Down Business Centre and enrolled on other courses through CERC, such as social media, customer service, hospitality, travel and tourism. The social media and digital marketing information was all new to John, and after our Zooms then, he was able to take the information that he learned to develop his own Facebook and website. There's his website, flyhighinspections.co.uk. John has said that Down Business Centre was also able to enrol me onto the Muiread Morning Down Business Growth Programme, which will assist him with further development of his business. So good luck to John there with Fly High Inspections. This is a business that set up in Uri called Craft as a Brush. The business started after Jessica and her mum saw the amount of clothing waste that she had in her house, when really there wasn't anything much wrong with it. So she decided to repurpose unwanted fabrics and materials into something new and exciting rather than it facing the dump. They now make a wide range of products, from hairbands to aprons and Christmas decorations to reusable items. Jessica says that the Exploring Enterprise programme really helped her develop her business plan, how to handle money, and the general knowledge of setting up a small business. We would highly recommend that you take part. Thank you, Jessica. Another business based in Uri, which started a few years ago with help from the Exploring Enterprise, and this is a very unique idea, the Wedding Nanny by Emma Brown. The Exploring Enterprise programme kick-started Emma into starting her own business. She always knew what she wanted to do, but felt that she didn't have the expertise to go it alone. After seeing the Exploring Enterprise programme advertised online, Emma contacted Maeve in Muiread Morning Enterprise Agency, and that was the beginning of her success. Maeve took her through the initial assessment stage and reassured her that the programme will be very beneficial for her. Emma then continued with the training, which gave her the confidence to start her own business, which is Wedding Nanny, which has been going strong for the last 2 years. What Wedding Nanny does is minds children that are at weddings from the actual service through to the meal and then the reception. Emma says she loves her job and enjoys being her own boss, and would definitely recommend the Exploring Enterprise programme to anyone else out there who may be thinking of starting their own business. And just a few more now. Miston Moss, Ireland, run by Pauline. Pauline attended the course in June 2019. She'd spent a couple of years making and testing candles. Many soy wax candles are on the market. They use animal derivatives to bind the fragrance to the wax. And Pauline wanted to find a way to leave these out, but still have exceptional hot and cold throws from her candles. As a stay-at-home mum for 10 years, Pauline was returning to a very different working environment. She had previously owned her own business and employed 25 people, but felt that she needed new skills going back into the marketplace. Finance and marketing were now digital, and this course, the Exploring Enterprise, helped her understand what processes she needed to put in place. Pauline says it was great to meet people in the same position, all of us stepping out into something new. In regards to starting your own business, Pauline says that I fully believe that the focus is the key, and by starting off with a solid foundation, by knowing what you need to achieve each day, you cut down the distractions and let creativity flow. And Pauline's put her website up there, mistandmoss.co.uk. Okay, so thank you to everyone who has let us feature their business. If you're sitting at home watching this here and you think you've got a business idea, you might want to take it further, how do you go about doing that? Please do contact us here at Down Business Centre or at Muiread Morning Enterprise Agency, and we'll be able to have a chat with you in order to take your idea further. So thank you, and I'll pass you back to Janice.
That was really interesting from both Jacqueline and Muiread and all of the other stories. I really don't think there's nothing else to add this morning. Please get in touch, and we'll keep sharing our contact details so that you can contact us at any stage. And thank you very much again. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.